What do weight gain, hair loss, constipation, irritability, dry skin, fatigue, and depression have in common? Well, they're all signs of an iodine deficiency. So if you're struggling with any of these symptoms, keep watching because I'm going to share with you my experience with iodine deficiency, a sluggish thyroid, and how I naturally balanced my thyroid. Hey everyone, it's Steph, and an iodine deficiency can be a pretty serious thing. Some of you may or may not know my background, but growing up, I struggled with my weight, I struggled with irritability, depression, fatigue. I even dealt with hair loss. All of these things can be extremely stressful and very, very scary. So I started getting into health and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I started eating healthy, I started exercising, actually several times a week. I did juice fasts, I started eating raw vegan, I did all kinds of different things and I got nowhere. So I went to the doctor and they did a blood test and they didn't find anything, which was odd because I knew there was something wrong with me. So I decided to go to a naturopathic doctor. Now they ended up doing a special blood test, which a normal doctor will not do for you unless you specifically ask for it. Now, the test that they did is specifically called a thyroid function test, and it measures your levels of TSH and T4 hormones. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone, and T4 is called thyroxine. Now, most doctors would recommend medication for a sluggish thyroid, which I was diagnosed with, but I did not want to go that route. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with medication. I am all for it, and I feel like there's always a time and a place for it. However, my philosophy in life is that the body is equipped to take care of itself, but it's our job to give the body what it needs. So if I try everything in my power to do it naturally and then that doesn't work, then I will resort to medicine. But first, I wanted to try the natural way to see if I could get anywhere with it. So I started doing my research and I learned that iodine is what stimulates the thyroid to produce the different hormones that it needs to be normal. So I started taking iodine drops, and iodine drops are okay, but there are dangers to taking iodine drops because it is very easy to overdo it. And when you overdo iodine, it can cause a whole other slew of problems, including thyroid inflammation and thyroid cancer, and I did not want to go through that. So as I did more research, I started to learn about sea kelp, or as some of you know it as seaweed. So I'm gonna put a link in the description to the kelp supplement that I take, but I always recommend you do your own research, talk to your doctor, especially if you have an overactive thyroid, because that could actually cause more problems. But for the purposes of this video, I am talking specifically for a sluggish thyroid or a thyroid that is not producing enough thyroid hormones. So back to my story, I started taking kelp and I did not see results right away, but over time, I started to see that my weight started to drop. Of course, I was trying to be healthy. I was trying to eat a balanced diet and exercise regularly, which before taking the kelp supplement, I had such slow progress. It was very frustrating. But once I started taking the kelp, I started to see the scale drop finally, which was amazing. I also noticed that I wasn't losing as much hair. My skin started to feel more moisturized. My mood started to improve. So the true test was getting my blood work done again. The next year when I did my blood work, my thyroid hormone levels were normal. 100% normal. And I literally just got my blood work tested a few weeks ago and I just got the results today with my doctor, and the doctor was amazed and they literally told me keep doing whatever you're doing because it's working. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm going to suggest that you do your research and see if this is the right thing for you. Because if you can avoid taking medication and help yourself naturally first, you're gonna save yourself money in the long run and you're gonna save yourself some of the side effects. So yeah, that's my story. So let's get into a little bit about iodine and kelp. If you actually look at some of the reviews on the kelp supplement that I haven't linked below, you'll see some of the people talking about some of the benefits that they've experienced. Some of the proven benefits that those taking kelp have experienced is hair regrowth, improved nail and hair strength, normalized skin, better sleep, weight loss for some people, improved blood glucose levels, increased energy. The list goes on. Kelp has so many other benefits, which I'll talk about that in another video. And I did want to point out that my father recently was diagnosed with a sluggish thyroid and the doctor wanted to put him on medication, But I suggested to him, why don't you try the kelp out first? So he did for several months, and his blood work turned out to be completely normal several months down the road. And my father has been bald for several years, and it's really funny because we're starting to see a bunch of little baby hairs growing through on the top of his head, and it's really cute. But yeah, it really does work for some people. So the average adult needs between 140 micrograms and 1100 micrograms of iodine daily. No more than that, because again, overdoing the iodine can cause other problems and you don't want to go there. So the kelp supplement that I take has 600 milligrams of kelp, and it contains 270 micrograms of iodine. Just one capsule of kelp is enough for your daily value. Now, because it is a natural supplement coming from the ocean, your body is able to absorb and recognize a lot of the nutrients coming from the sea kelp rather than a commercially made iodine product. So some other good sources of iodine are spirulina, which has 15 micrograms in a typical 3-gram serving, chlorella, which has 2 micrograms in a typical serving. Other amazing sources of iodine are, like I said, seaweed or kelp, cod, halibut, crab, scallops, squid, and tuna. Real quick, if you guys are finding this information helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps me out, and it tells YouTube that this is information that's gonna be helpful to other people. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate you guys. So yeah, if you guys wanna know why I stopped taking multivitamins altogether and what I'm taking right now, go ahead and hop over to the next video and I'll tell you all about it. See you guys there. Thanks for watching.